What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is Blazer King with King's Critiques, and might see not normal Marin shirt, and the obvious reason is I got full fucking cosplay on, bitch. Or this motherfucker specifically for the finale, and any cosplays I go to in the future. We here with it. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, I don't know how to tie right, eat my dick. Actually, I think that's supposed to go right there. Yeah. Anyway, I don't tie once in my life, so I feel it's not terrible. Anywho, we're here with the finale. Number one, if any sort of comment enters your mind about anything you want to drop down about anything I say or do, even if it includes this, let me know, because it's always encouraged to do so, because it's good for the algorithm, good for me, and very helpful regardless on what platform it's on, whether it be butthole YouTube or the orange guys, the black guys, or wait, pause, hold on the way, I put that wrong, TikTok, you know what I mean, or whatever else. In addition to highly appreciate it, let it run through, let me get the watch time, hit the like button, or whatever the equivalent, subscribe, or whatever the equivalent, and all that kind of good stuff. That being said, we're about to get into the respectful bit of we listen to the intro and outro for the first and last episode when applicable, and this is the last episode of Dress Up Darling for the season, unfortunately. So, let's get to it, shall we? I mean, if this thing were just 5 inches shorter, it would definitely be an ascot, and I might hate myself a little bit more. Just saying. But, it's fine. Even if I just look like a background character more than the cosplay it's supposed to be, works for me. Anyway. Okay, now, I will also say, Dan already got Season 3 announcement when the last episode of that aired, which I will be watching the rest of those to go up on Patreon soon, too. Mara gets the same treatment here as when this is over, Season 3 gets announced, because, are you sure? You better. Don't be a bitch about it. You're the one who's more motivated to say than he is. Even for such a simple introduction, because of what she was just doing, she seems so panic-stricken, and it's funny. Okay, I'd seen this drawn and the picture of it a lot from the manga. I was questioning at what point it was. Now I understand. And now I can understand how she felt the way she did in that moment more than usual, because she was already hyping herself up to say something, and then he just kind of went, eh. The answer to that is probably not. I will say, though, like, if I do take this to an actual cosplay, like a con somewhere, I might need to, like, wet my hair repeatedly to get it close to the right color, because there's a dark brown, not black, so that doesn't quite work. Wait, what was that? Right. Honestly, Akira joining the cosplay group, considering how much she has an issue with Marin, is wild, but hey, at least she helped out her friends in that way. Still want to get down to the nitty-gritty of her issue with Marin, though, because, like, is it just because she's jealous at the fact that, you know, she's allowed to be so carefree regardless of how young she is? Or is it the fact of something else? Because, honestly, I'm two ways about it right now, and there might be a third way to go about it, but I have no clue. He was just doing it right there, which, understandable in a sense, but also, there's still at least one girl in the room, man, come on. Like, if it was just you and Gojo, that'd be one thing, but okay, yeah, that actually makes sense mentality-wise. Hey, yo, wait a minute. You just want to see him, do the changing aspect. Why is she standing there like she hasn't seen that all before? Yeah, that is very true. Which, honestly, back then, just like your cosplay in the beginning of the season, very impressive how that ends up working, really. And honestly, for any females who might be asking, I do have a genuine question. How painful is that shit to have them bound back that far when you're, like, minimum a D cup? I'm gonna imagine, like, that's gotta be pretty painful. You know, just like any amount of fat being piled up in one place for too long. Listen, can she be blamed? I mean, to one extent, yes, but also to that extent, the makeup on her sister's arms really was freaking Juju out for a minute, which is understandable, all things considering. I don't know who's the most unsure one out of the whole group. Is it Juju or Akira? Because, like, Neither of them seem quite certain about the situation, but they're already there and in costume, so YOLO. Oh, what was that one at the side? Okay, it's just pointing out who is who in this instance. Right. It's kind of exposing who's like sitting on something else, who's just sitting on their knees, and who's not. But honestly, angles being taken from a different perspective for pictures, not a bad idea. Could honestly make somebody as short as my ass looks like, the proper height for someone like Gojo, who, well, theoretically this is supposed to be about, because may as well just be a background character. Neither here nor there again. Oh, does Juju not do well with blood? Is that the issue? Like, when she saw the makeup on her sister's arms, was it not because of, like, a care for her sister, making it seem like she's hurt, but more as she has a problem with blood, real or fake? I could see that. Hey, yo. You're way too energetic. Yeah, she's, what's the word for someone who has a fear of blood? I forgot. Like, plasmophobia? I don't think that's correct, but that sounds the closest thing. If you know, let me know. Okay, the way they're describing it really is not helping her mental state, I imagine. She is so confused about that very intense look being given. Oh no. Oh, Juju. Sweetheart, you're about to be very freaked out then. If you've only played the game part way. Yike. You'll also have a side thought while I'm like, paused. I have a bad enough time cleaning whites in general. How fast is it going to be clean this stuff, I wonder? Actually, wait, I've had friends that have cosplayed before, so I actually could probably just text him to find out. We don't talk a lot, but at least I could send a message about that, I bet. I hope I don't damage the pens by pulling them up. Yeah, and that's the cake being smattered. Wonder if she's just gonna freak out here. Honestly, they did a very good job recreating the scene that happened at the very end. Okay, so they actually like cleared it out before she freaked out. Honestly, surprising she was able to keep it in that long. Oh, I know this is a flashback to a time they actually had a meal together, which is awkward timing, but... Okay, I do have to ask, though. That's supposed to be their mother? Because, like, I can kind of see where this little sister gets her looks now. Not to say Juju isn't pretty, but also, even though Juju is technically the legal one, and not my type. So, while I can admit she's cute, I can't say she gets her looks from her mother, although she also kind of does in a way. Like the hair, definitely. Okay, literally, they're taking pictures of all the violent imagery from the game that's canon, and then they just take their own pictures like that. Even Gojo sharing in the vibe. Okay, I feel like that's a potential thumbnail image in of itself, but the way she was just like so happy explaining the plot of the game just now, and everyone is so amused by it except for Gojo, who's freaked out, and probably Juju, who's also freaked out, like, on the other end of things. Oh, she didn't even join in the rest of the festivities at the end. She was so freaked out by all the blood. Yeah, she was about ready to have a panic attack a while back there. Do you want the honest answer or the answer because we're friends? Because those are slightly different. So, Juju is just the example of an introvert who, while she can do shit for other people when the right person asks, she still just does not care to be an introvert. I think she's actually having more of a panic attack than being an asshole, honestly. Like, the look in her eye right now isn't just the makeup. And she's out. Rip Juju. Meanwhile, Gojo's also having a mild panic attack. And then the awkward face-to-face finally happening. Not quite yet, though. She is just now realizing that they didn't have anything to do together. There's that awkward... No, hold on. You see the obvious change, though, because, like... She was looking so happily at her friend, and then as soon as Marin came out, she just darted her eyes right to the side to ignore her, staring at her. What is the... Please, within the next 10 minutes, give me this explanation. Like, I need this explanation. So instead of asking what the problem is between them, she's just gonna try and get the pictures anyway. Okay, I feel like starting a scene between that might actually go awry. High key. Yeah, see, I also don't understand, like, does she hate your guts? Does she like you? Is she jealous of you? I'm still unclear on all of that right now. Yeah, meanwhile, Akira just looks over at her when she's hearing that whole thing, like, wait, hold on. Fuck, she's kind of right, but she's also not right. Oh god, it's finally time I explain this, isn't it? Okay, so I'm not wrong on the liking her end. Even Gojo's curious about what she meant, just like, hold up. I need more exposition to that, ma'am. So she saw the cosplay and just like got hit in the heart. Honestly, valid. I've seen a couple of cosplayers, dress up some of my favorite characters, Marin withstanding, that just pull it off beautifully. So I guess I kind of understand her thought on that. But love and respect for the character more than the person being attractive, which also clearly, but shot through the heart. And she's not that vain. I mean, no, I imagine he did understand it a little bit. Amane, I don't think he got it per se, but Amane is a special guy. Like, he's the kind of guy you can be bros with, but also he'll do drag cosplay, and you're perfectly fine with that because he does it really well. Wait, hold on. No, she doesn't actually she does. She actually has Marin's modeling magazines. No, okay, I was right from the beginning then. This is a love kind of friction, not a jealousy or hatred thing. So, like, I was right from the very first minute when that whole eye dilation thing happened. Okay, that makes me feel better about actually nailing that on the head, as opposed to, like, being off kilter slightly. Because, listen, when the look is given in anime, you know the look. Akira is now my second favorite character in this show, because she is based as hell. Instead of being jealous like most guys would be, he's just like basking in how true she's being about all of those statements. And Amane, knowing more without knowing any of them for an extended period of time than anything, is just looking at Gojo like, dude, you do realize she loves you, right? And you're just, you know what, I'm gonna stay out of it. And meanwhile, Akira just jumps to defending what he's done for the shoot. Which, again, kind of makes her base, because not only does that mean she's, like, giving many compliments to the hot girl that wore the cosplay, but the dude that made the cosplay. Understandable. So, to an extent, she is also still kind of an introvert. Okay, let me just stop her for a second. Out of everybody in this show, I think the one who would probably embrace it the most is Marin. I'm not even kidding. Like, the level of degenerate and, like, while I usually would defend people who, are giant fans of things in the whole otaku category, listen, she's enough of a degenerate where we might also be acceptable term, because, like, I get the vibe clearly. Like, I buy a bunch of merch for her sake, just like she buys a bunch of merch for Shizuka-tan's sake, so I get the vibe, I do. That's why I'm saying I'm pretty sure she'd, like, not mind as much. Yeah, no, you did just kind of, like, give her the cold shoulder, literally, and I guess you had an internal panic attack about it. See, now everything's all coming together, and I am very glad I got my answers, and that I was right. It is kind of funny, though, like, she went from all cool, calm, collected all the time, and now she's just breaking down at the idea of having an actual conversation with Marin. And again, as I always say, that's a really foolish opinion in some cases, because, like, A, clearly she's talented, look at the kind of stuff she makes for cosplays. B, she's super hot. Those are my two main points. I mean, C, she did eventually find friends because she, like, wasted whatever amount of money to go to university and was able to meet people, so, that was a thing. So, like, obviously good things were going to happen. You know, it's not like she made herself look like a fool in public and something good might happen one day, even that aside. And honestly, I will say, though, like, this whole thing is probably the least foolish I've ever looked in public, all things considering. Now, I wouldn't wear this on a day-to-day basis. Clearly, it's a common thing, but honestly, the fact the tie stayed in place most of the time is impressive. So, make friends. You know, do shit together more frequently. Like, even if the person she loves is Gojo, and you can only, like, be an extra, she still will probably happily be friends with you. No, actually, I'm not even gonna go there. Like, I will say, you know, maybe now that that's out in the open anime wise, some artists will get to doing things. Am I a degenerate for saying that? Yes. Is this the first time I've been a degenerate on any platform of mine? No. Because listen, if this ever does get up on the red side, it's not the first time. If this is going up on the orange side at some point next month, not the first time. If this gets up on the TT side, it's not the first time because y'all also see me upload my gacha game stuff. I think the funnier part is that Marin heard the first half of this conversation and eavesdropped, but didn't hear anything about the rest of this, which is probably a good thing because had she, I don't think she would have been able to keep it in and ambushing Akira about it at some point. He's kind of already watching that happen. Yeah, Amane just kind of like didn't give a fuck. Also, he's correct though because listen, while I'd want to talk big shit and say if I ever saw a girl, you know, a woman crying in public, I'd want to try and be that guy and help out a little bit because, like, much of an asshole as I can be, I also am a very good person, especially when it comes to females who aren't complete assholes. So, if I saw one crying in public and nobody helping out, would I lend an ear? Maybe. Depends on where I am, what I'm doing. But at least I would, you know, consider helping, unlike most people who would probably just like see someone crying and just walk past, you know? But these are one of the many life lessons that are very simple yet effective that I would like to try to continue to put up on YouTube, but unfortunately YouTube are, well, life is Roblox. Well, damn, she screamed that to the heavens. Again, based as hell. Oops. Yes, you, very much so. Ah, now the truth comes out. This is just everything in her head. Also, will say, like, well, it's unlikely for me to meet somebody like Marin to, you know, in the future to have his, you know, possible dating opportunities. Somebody like Akira to even be friends with would be just as good. You know, hang out, chill, vibe with, and also gush over hot women in public. Okay, well, that sounds weirder than it is. But also somebody I can, like, actually converse with and, you know, look and be like, hey, she's hot, isn't she? And they can be like, yeah. You know, just simple interactions like that. Because, like, listen, the only people I get to do that with nowadays, not the kind of people that, like, would be considered normal to vibe with in that fashion. But I will say one more time, Akira is based as shit for this being her internal monologue. Yeah, they both have been keeping the secret from Marin about that for a little bit. Or I'm sorry, what's the term for it? Or I'm not even actually. Yeah, fuck, I'll say it just because I'm not 100% sure, even though it's like been a video series I almost started. Which, since, you know, Alma does Marin's English voice, I feel like it's appropriate to mention. Is Oshi the right word I'm thinking of here? Or is there like a female equivalent that would fit also? Let me know in the comments. Okay, no. It is Oshi because she literally just said that. Which, again, based. And now she's freaking out about it. In universe, yeah, weirdly, that's understandable because people probably more think it than anything when they're fans of hers. Like, there's probably a lot of those people that have gone to get pictures with her or something that probably think that, but have never admitted it. I think the closeness is killing Akira, like, internally and externally, honestly. And right now must be the happiest day of Akira's life. Marin being Marin, and Akira freaking the fuck out about it. I mean, to be fair, while the misunderstanding did make things awkward for a little while, that like half hour of taking pictures were probably the best moment of Akira's adult life. Also, does that mean I can normalize being an adult that, has as many feelings about Marin? Because, like, listen, she's an adult woman in college, so, like, is it really that weird? Actually, technically, how old is Marin in canon by this point? Hmm. Considerable thought process. Actually, hold on. Can we just talk about real quick just Juju's expression in back? Like, did this actually just happen? So I wonder within the next 5 minutes if that's gonna finally be the break for her to say what she needs to with Gojo, and then we're gonna start the drama arc next season. Damn, Akira just looking like she's being dragged out after a hard night at the bar. But instead of crying from depression, she's crying from happiness. Just the two of us. Yeah, that song's like 70 years old, I think. Maybe not quite even that old, but he also literally did just verbalize what she was thinking. And in this moment, she's like, okay, he's walking me home again. Of course, that's what he always does. This is my last chance for the day to do it. Am I going to do it? I'm probably going to bitch out and not do it, but I should do it. I'm not probably going to bitch out and not do it, but I should. Okay, this seems like honestly the most fitting thumbnail to use for the last episode, so. Okay, come on, Marin. The setting is just perfect for you. She ain't gonna get it out. It's gonna leave it on a fucking cliffhanger, isn't it? Die. She bitched out and didn't say the actual thing she wanted to, so now she's just gonna take that with a grain of salt. Oh, do we get a better thumbnail image? That's another good thumbnail potential. But do we get her actual selfie for a better one? Oh no, her phone! Okay, that's actually the thumbnail image I was trying to get before. I'll still might take the other one, but like, her phone's going over the edge. Welp! Still might get a season 3 announcement at the end of the credits, so like we said in the beginning, when it's applicable, we listen to the intros and outros for the final episodes of the season, and well, here we are, the final episode of the season. Here comes the outro, so let's give it a listen. No season 3 announcement? You suck! I was hoping we would have gotten a season 3 announcement. Why is that orange? Please tell me that did not do some sort of fucked up. Okay. Okay. I will admit I saw the Streamlabs thing colored orange, and I had a mild stroke. Like, the last time my Streamlabs thing was colored orange was because there was some kind of glitchy error in it, and everything broke. Yeah, you remember, right? Aharon? Yeah, when everything broke from the fucking season finale, series finale even, I would have fucking lost it. I'm not even gonna lie. But thankfully, that was not the case. So, for what is the case, number one, I guess, I'm gonna pop that up because it's popping up some really interesting stuff. Alright. Number one, I will say I'm glad we finally got, the proper resolution to the thing that was wrong with Akira. Is totally what I said in the beginning of the fact she's in love with Marin. Like, I did say that from that very first moment. Like, from the eye dilation, I had that feeling. And, like, all the clues and breadcrumbs being left behind kind of made it seem like it was the opposite thing, like how she was thinking. Made it seem like Akira actually hated Marin for whatever reason. But then it boiled down to the fact that I was correct on the fact she liked her, so... Listen, I'm not saying I have Yuri vision, but I also might just have Yuri vision. And again, another end of the season, and Marin bitches out from telling Gojo she loves him again. Now, if we get season 3, which praise, I think that'll probably be the season that'll come down to continuance, the drama arc, hopefully not lengthy, and the finale. Because, like, the drama arc, I think, lasted for longer than it should have manga wise, but maybe the anime will, like, be smart with it, like Watanabe, and speed it up a little. Because from what I heard, Watanabe, the drama between episode 3 and 4, the anime sped up a lot, so I was thankful for that. Hopefully they do the same thing otherwise. Maybe not, but maybe we'll be lucky. We'll see. In both cases, it's rom-com, so, like, maybe an anime company will finally see that, oh, we don't need to waste people's time by showing them the random dramatic himaha. At least I can hope. But we don't have an official announcement yet, so I imagine it'll probably hit within, like, the next month or something, Cloverworks or an official Dress Up Darling page on Twitter or something will put up a season 3 announcement coming 2026. Hopefully 2026, because if it's 2027, it's I've shared my mental state a lot of times. So, like, I don't know if I can last 2027. Like, that might be a thing to keep me around long enough, but I don't know. We'll see. But those are the two main points we got from this episode. That and Juju, used her syscon powers and helped out very well. Wasn't really be that great for her, but hey, it'll work out in the end, right? So, before we boil down to everything else, the intro and whatnot, I will say one thing. And let me just do this one more time. Okay, maybe just moving the chair that way first isn't a good idea. Like, this is not a thing I do often. But, since this is the first time I do things, we'll say, just like the main point of the show, if y'all have the money or people that know how to do things, do it yourself too. Honestly, I feel the entire point of this show is not only be comfortable with the type of person you are, to which I don't listen to that too well because while I'm okay with the type of person I am in a lot of ways, I do hate myself in a lot of other ways. But that does not change the fact that cosplayed like this on screen for the sake of the episode. Might throw on cosplay for, like, any streams I do in October, or at least, like, the week of Halloween or something. We'll see. On that topic, don't forget to hit up the Twitch, because I'm trying to stream a little bit more than I did this last couple months over there. Because the last couple of months I've been busy helping people out with other stuff, doing my own thing, dealing with the emotional trauma of YouTube cucking my channel that this would be uploaded on traditionally, but instead I'm gonna have to wait for it over there, and this is only gonna be Patreon, because I don't know if my, like, cut up videos are fine. I'm gonna have to, like, look through my emails and see if a cut up video's ever been hit by fake copyright or real copyright. But yeah, there's that. But this was unfortunately the final day of the official Dress Up Darling, series as it is. I'll probably rewatch the entire thing in dub because I only watched a few episodes into the dub. Because, listen, I love Alma's work. Like, I'm not a creepy fan, at least I hope I don't come across that way, but, like, music, voice actress work, and just, honestly, her comedy bits as Monarch when she's, like, streaming or making videos or whatever. I love it all. She's one of my favorite creators and has been for a while. I feel no shame in that. And I feel double less shame in saying that if I ever had the chance to, like, see her at a con or anything, I would 100% take something Marin involved and have her sign it. Like, the plush or one of the standees back there. Yeah, no, I'd have her sign that. Like, no shame. And I don't think she would blame me or anybody else would either. But that said, you can let me know your thoughts on anything to do with the finale, the show's finale, and whatever else to do with the show, because it's always highly appreciated to do so. You know, because it helps me get a grasp on what things I could work on, what other things I could talk about, what other shows, I might be able to check out, which on topic, as well as mentioning anything to do with the show, the series, or me in the comment section. Also, let me know about any other shows, movies, etc. I should check out this season, next season, or in general. And that said, this is going to be awkward considering it's not just for the YouTube side, because I can't upload the full thing to YouTube because they're, well, cuckolds. I don't know if there's a like button on Patreon, but hey, if there is, hit that up. Same with when you see this on the TikTok side, and if you see it on the YouTube side, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel, the gaming channel, ring both bells, like Facebook, follow Twitter, and Blue Sky to keep updated with things. TikTok, Patreon, where this will definitely be uploaded in some way, shape, or form. But Patreon, I gotta subscribe to. But hey, if I get frequent subscribers, at least I can upload these things guaranteed all the time for y'all to keep up with. So that's dope as hell, right? Go follow Twitch, subscribe for benefits. Like I said, I'll be wearing this at some point within October, so that's always a pretty cool thought, right? Be able to see me in this kind of getup instead of just the usual whatever. Be different, be cool, maybe. Maybe I'll find some games to play accordingly. We shall see. Did I say subscribe to Twitch Prime for free? Well, if I didn't, now I did. And check out the playlist here if you're on the YouTube side, as well as the video recommended to you by YouTube here, since I can no longer attach the bigger versions to cut up videos because they're cucks. Until next time, Ben the Blazer King with King's Critiques on the Patreon side mostly. Maybe the cut up version. We will see. Still not sure. Sign out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.